Hello! So, this is a tutorial in which I'm going to make this bird that I've created here. I'm gonna make it hover up and down. It's gonna flap its wings and it's gonna blink a little bit. To do this, I'm gonna have to show you how to use nested timelines. Nested timelines is when you animate something inside of the group, and then on a layer on a layer higher, you can animate the group doing stuff. So then those motions combine, and this way we can create really efficient animation, not to do too much unnecessary work. So a lot of it has to do with how you set the character up beforehand, so I'm going to show you a little bit about the setup. As you can see, this bird right now, it looks like a one-eyed, one-armed pirate. Like it has one eye and one wing. This is because we're going to replicate those afterwards after we animate inside of them. And I'm going to show you how it's set up. So there is the whole bird layer, as you can see on the left here. This is so you can just move the whole bird back and forth. And inside of it, there's all the layers of name, obviously. There's the head, legs, body, and the wing. And let's go inside the wing to see how that's set up. So there's the top part of the wing. There's the shoulder of the wing. And then there's an extra feather in the middle here. So that, for example, when the wing goes into like this position, and you need it to look realistic, you can cover up this hole that is created by just sticking this feather in there. And if you were really hardcore, you could separate the whole wing into feathers. So you could just break this group and animate all these feathers separately, but I'm not going to do that because it's going to take too much time. But if you want something to look really smooth, that's what you're going to do. So you're welcome to try that. And another thing I'm going to show you is how I set up the eye. What happens with the eye here is, let me click through. I'm using a mask. So let me turn off the mask. There's this little slider here, and I turned off the mask. The mask, like the way the eye is set up, you see here there's the eye white. There's these are the lids. Are just to put two rectangles there for the lids. I'll show you how it works later. And there's a pupil here. You can see because the mask is on. Let's turn it back on. So what happens here? See, I'm moving the rectangle of the eyelid, and it's masking it out, right? So what's just gonna happen is I'm gonna animate those eyelids going up and down, and they're gonna blink. And I'm gonna animate it inside the eye group, this is what the nested animation is that I was talking about, so that I don't have to do like I can just use that and replicate this eye, and it already will have the blink on it. So yeah. So let's go back to the scene, and okay, so it's already on animate, right? So that means that Animatron is gonna remember everything I do on the screen, and the timeline's at 1, and yeah, and this looks about right. And you can also use this to show you more layers, but I'm not going to because I want to see the bird's body. Okay, so we're ready to animate. Let's go inside the wing and make it flap it. Okay, so this is the first keyframe. The first frame and the first keyframe and the last keyframe should be the same, right? So I'm just gonna go to 1. I'm gonna do this little trick when I move this wing chunk back and forth, and it creates a keyframe here, but it's as close as possible to the first frame. So see, there's like basically almost not moving. And then I'll put in the extreme in the middle. So that would be the open position, the highest possible open position for the wing. And gonna go do this. And you know what? I don't think this is folded enough, so I'm just gonna fold this wing much more. And like this. It's minus 150, so just gonna do this. There. So now the wing is moving like this. And you can see it on the layer up. This is what's happening. So let's move the wing a little bit like this, so it looks like it's attached, and see if it's working. There you go. And so let's now duplicate this wing, right? Because it needs two wings. So I'm alt dragging it right now, and it created the copy of the wing. And I am going to turn it around, and switch it so you can see the other side of it. Basically flip it on the width, and something like that. That's kind of tiny here, so make it a little bigger. That looks about right. So let's name it wing 2, and move it behind the body. Not behind the head, behind the body. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so the wings are flapping, but they're detaching from the body. So let's make sure that they're not detaching. So in this position they look fine, but at the extreme position they look like they're detaching. So let's just, on the level higher right now, not inside the wing, we're just gonna move them so that they look attached. And then over here, and yeah, let's try it again and make the last keyframe the same as the first keyframe. Oh, I accidentally added an extra keyframe here. So you can see the coordinates here, so we're doing this so that the coordinates kind of look similar here, and it's a little bit like this. Okay, so we can just right now test and see how the wing looks. So let's just quickly publish the GIF. Open it here, and it looks like this. It's flapping its wings. So now let's, I think this looks okay. So let's go back and animate his eyes. So we'll go inside the head and click inside the eye. And let's make it blink the same length as the wing is flapping. So all that means is so we have eyelid top and eyelid bottom. I'm just going to turn off the mask for a second just so you can see it. And so on this last keyframe, it's outside, right? And in the middle, it goes right here, and they meet in the middle. And you can actually you can check it out. You turn the mask on, and this is what it looks like. So right now the pupil is on top of the eyelids, right? So we just, all we have to do is drag the pupil layer underneath, and this is what it does. So, and now I'm just gonna replicate this eye and put it right here. So now there's two eyes that are animated. Go at the top layer, and right now he's blinking, he's flapping his wings. Let's make him hover up and down. So again, last keyframe, put right here, and then right, and then let's put the middle keyframe. Let's say he's going down when he's hovering. So like this. Oops, just gotta move the whole thing up. One. It's going to the side a little bit, so 2. 1. Two. Let's look at the where this whole group is. Let's say 488 and 504, and let's 488 and 504. Something like that. Close enough. Okay. So we're done. Let's test our hovering bird. Let's click publish and check this out. So I'm just publishing this GIF, and it's a loop, and it's well, let's make it 24 frames per second, and just test it out like that. And it's on a loop. If you want it to actually be in a video, then you can just go inside and just loop the animation as many times as you want. But you have to go also inside the nested symbols and loop them in there. But personally, I like animated GIFs because you don't have to do all that stuff. Because you just turn the loop on and it just animates like that. But again, if you have an animated scene, then you have to do something else. So yeah, let's publish it and see what happens. And as you can see, here's the bird floating up and down. Looks pretty good. And then later you can, you can if you choose to, you can make all these clouds move and everything, and make the bird's legs move. But right now, I'm just gonna show you this. This looks okay. So yeah, try and do it with your own character, and that's it. Good luck.